Hello everyone, here is our Verbania site analysis. As you can see, we analyzed our site from 4 different aspects, which were finally converted together to generate our general principles of design. Now let's begin with our first fragment. In the first analysis, the opinion is that for the design and the renovation of this spatial site, if we want to analyze the proportion of green and built area of Verbania, first we divided the city into 84 blocks, then measured these areas. Then we got the sets of data and formed a column chart. Among them, the largest, 61%, indicates the blocks whose pervious area is larger than built area, accounts for the total data. It shows that for most blocks of Urbania, the ratio of green spaces are more reasonable. Then, in another way, we separately measured the proportions of the pervious and the built area of the site, showing that the two factors each account for almost 50%. It means maybe the proportion of pervious area is insufficient. So in conclusion, the pervious area ratio in the site is not so scientific and it's deviated and concentrated. For future renovation and design, the pervious space should be more expanded by at least 10% and make it more dispersed. Now here's the second aspect. Through extracting these two informations, some morphological characteristics could be observed. For instance, the arrangement of buildings on each block along the edges in Verbania usually do not present like a solid wall, like some other typical European cities. These walls of public space consists of not only buildings facade, also green area among them. As a result, the boundaries of each block have semi-private characteristic rather than totally isolated. Furthermore, in Verbania's blocks, cul-de-sacs are used as the main way to interact with main streets and outer space. That is to say, the connection between two main streets opposite a block, usually by circular orientation around the block, rather than only one street runs through the whole block. Otherwise, each cul-de-sac could develop in deep branching and loop roads, which could create different microspaces on different nodes of one block. The diagrams at the top show the basic climate information of Verbania, temperature, rainfall, and the solar elevation angles. Then below, the diagram on the left is current sunlighting situation. It's just an example as a reference comparing with the planning. Obviously, the existing buildings are all congregated together. The diagram on the right is the reasoning diagram of the sunlighting situation. Considering the shading from the outside and assuming that the internal buildings and other elements are evenly distributed. Then the sketches at the bottom show the shadows of Verbania in different seasons and times. Due to the high latitude, the shadow area is very large in winter. There is even an area on the north side of the building that does not get sufficient daylight. The square with X represents the building itself. The shadow represents area get no sunshine. The trapezoid represents area affected by the shadow of the building. In conclusion, when arranging the distribution of the buildings, green lands, and other elements that require lighting, we should take care to avoid trapezoid areas. The trapezoid area and the shades area is affected by the height of the building. So the higher buildings are supposed to be placed on the north of the site, and the areas with high lighting requirements should be arranged on the south of the block. Then in this analysis, it's focused on land use suitability. In the left diagram, the information is separated into three layers: the surrounding building volumes, road network, and the land cover. In the right diagram, the analysis is based on topography. The red area in the middle is not suitable for commercial and residential usage, and the blue area in the west is suitable for landscape. The diagram in the middle is about building morphology. There are two types. One is three-story building and the other is single-story building, which have a long span. As a result, we generated some principles to guide our design proposal, such as more pervious areas, placing buildings with main functions at the southeast side, inserting cul-de-sacs at important nodes, putting secondary functions into shaded areas, and finally avoiding massive buildings in the steep slope area. That's it. Thanks for your listening.